Hi guys, Tanfoglio or Tanfoglio TZ75. Now, how this design started, I'm not entirely sure. In 1975, CZ from Czechoslovakia released the Model 75. This pistol, however, was not importable into the US due to the US's embargo on communist countries. So Italy, in the form of Tanfoglio, stepped in and produced this pistol. Now, I'm not too sure if it was a US initiative or if the Italians saw a gap here. But anyway, this one was brought in by FIE, which was Firearms Import Export from Miami, Florida, and they called it the TZ. And I'm assuming the T was for Tanfoglio, and the rest of it kind of tells you what they copied. And Armi Fratelli Tanfoglio SPA. This came out in 1982, and they ran with this configuration until 1988. In 1988, they changed to a more CZ style slide release as well as safety, and it just kind of looks more like a CZ. But at this point, Tanfoglio already introduced their small changes to the to the whole program, and this one's also called TZ75 Series 88, and they have the frame mounted safety. But the mag release has changed, the way the hammer comes in has changed, and I'll get to that a bit later. So on this one, it is true CZ. If you look at the slide at the mag release, the way the mag release operates, and it's not, you can't swap it to for left-handed use. And then also look at the pin, the hammer pin there. It's got a retention pin, same as that. Where the later one, they just got a roll pin in there for a hammer pin, and this is swappable. So you got that little hole there, and that's got to do with the way it's kept into the gun. And I'll show you that in a minute too. Other than that, it's CZ, except for they put the safety on the slide, and it's also a decocker and a decocking safety. So when you push it down, it stays on safe. Trigger's disconnected. When you push it back up, you got double action. And the first CZs, this is kind of like the second generation of CZ. It was also milled back to about that point, so that plane carried on very similar to this. It just was a straight edge up to there on the original CZs. I don't have one of those. They're crazy valuable. Slide stop is, you can actually get to the slide stop with your thumb. So there's my normal grip, and I can just get to it right there on my normal grip. So they gave it that funny little dog leg. So to break it down, it's the same as CZ. You line up those two little dots there, or two little marks, push out the slide stop, and that's that part, and then slide it off the front. And this all looks like CZ, except it's got a full-length guide rod, which the CZs don't have, and the barrel looks also very CZ, although it's got a bit of a flare up there. We'll pull the CZ apart, and then we can compare. So the CZ does not have a full-length guide rod. It's got a little stubby, and it's tight on there. barrels look similar, except it doesn't have that bell at the front right there. Different shape there too. If you look at the slides, the way the firing pin comes in is the same on both pistols. This is the TZ and this is the CZ. Is the same on both pistols. It's got a backing plate in there. It's got that extra pin there, and that pin is what activates the hammer drop. So when you push down the safety, that pin comes out. You can see it move in and out. And then what it does is it comes down and pushes down on top of the sear right there. And when you push the sear, it drops the hammer. So it just interacts right there. So that's the difference there. Other than that, they look similar. On the inside, you can see the same sear cage setup. We've got CZ on the left and TZ on the right, and also if you look at that screw over there, and that keeps in a wire spring, and that wire spring pushes up on the stirrup that transfers the energy from the trigger back to the hammer, and it pushes it up, and it's part of the disconnector. And you got that wire spring in there. That wire spring runs through there, and it's held in by that screw. Now, the pre-88 series of TZ has got that exact same spring with that same screw. So it's a very close copy to the CZ. If we go to the post 88 series, or what's called the 88 series, now you'll see Tanfoglio has introduced a firing pin block, and this pistol dates from 1989, and CZ only brought a firing pin block out in like 1990. It was an interim period, but the B, the TZ75B, that had the firing pin block, and that was kind of designed around the 1990s, and you see the first ones popping up like 92. So this predates CZ with the firing pin block. And now if you look at the way the spring pressure works on this stirrup, it's got a plunger, a spring-loaded plunger right there, that pushes up on that trigger bow from the bottom, and that has got a pin that holds in the mag release, and there's a spring on that pin that pushes up. So to swap out the mag release, you can go get that forward. So you can see there's the plunger I'm talking about, and I can push down on it, and that's what pushes up on the on this stirrup or bow, whatever you want to call it. And that pin holds in the mag release. So if I rotate that out, you pull it out, that you can swap the mag release around. So that's the big change over there. And then the other big change that they had was they did away with that pin. The CZ's got a pin, and the early Tanfoglio's got a pin that goes in, and then there's a pin from the top that keeps that pin from coming out. They just used a raw pin. I think this is a better design though, but I do like that design. Also, the magazines from the early pistols, these were the slide mounted safety. They use the same mag as what the pre-B does of the CZs, and the other mags only get in that far, and they don't want to. They're right up against the back of the frame there, where the pre-B mags, they go in all the way, and they will actually fit in the newer guns, but The reverse is not true. What is true though is that the mags out of the later Shadow series, they do fit these as well as the pre-Bs. Just a quick introduction of the pre-88 series TZ75. Be sure to follow part 2, where I'll be pulling this gun completely apart, complete disassemble and reassemble for a deep clean, because it's all tacky and got some caked on oils and grease in the operating system. Hope you found that interesting. Stay safe. We talk again. Cheers.